Welcome back everyone to another Evertale video. Today we are celebrating our 1 million free-to-play soulstones in Evertale. Look at this, 100,000 million. Bam, right there. And what better way to show you how to get some free hidden soulstones that Evertale probably doesn't want you to know about. It's not clickbait. No hacks, no blue stacks. There are extra soulstones that you can get for free in addition to your typical like lucky fountain events, etc., all those good stuff. And if you want to know how I got the majority of my 1 million soulstones, check out the how to be a free-to-play whale video. I only discovered this new method recently for like the last like 12k of the soulstones or so. And I realized that making a video on YouTube could potentially get this patched in the future, and I might not be able to utilize it anymore because after I made the how to be a free-to-play whale video, Evertale like coincidentally like patched and updated the game to make it like much more difficult to make multiple accounts. And because like before it used to be like ridiculously easy, like it was super easy to make multiple accounts. Now it's kind of harder. It's more of a pain to make multiple accounts, but I'll take the risk because I value my YouTube community more. So comment, subscribe, and join my screen to show your support. I wanted to preface beforehand that like I believe that return logging has a lot of potential, but it's definitely not for everybody, and that's okay. So, return logging. What is it? And how did I find it? Return logging is a term that I just made up to try and take advantage of Evertale's returners login bonus by logging in on certain days and by logging as in like keeping track of the dates that you play. Not to be confused with console logging, but I scoured the internet and couldn't find anyone like talking about making a guide or how to utilize the return bonus mechanic within Evertale. And I knew about it for like years, but never really got around to figure out how it worked. So, yeah, this is the returner's bonus. So, a little story time. So, we know a couple things about Evertale in general. One of them is that like Fountain is bi-monthly, around the 1st and the 15th of each month, and lasts for 7 days. New characters are typically released on Thursday evening where I live, which might be Friday reset for other people in other regions. And new character banners last for 7 days. Events typically last over 7 days usually. So, like they usually last a while, like 10. 5 left, but like this was much longer earlier. Like this is like it's been going on for a while, like these events. So usually they last more than 7 days. It's usually a pretty good amount of time. And to claim this returner bonus, you need 7 days to claim and log in. And I think the best way to maximize the returner bonus would be to align it with Lucky Fountain, because if you look inside the missions, okay, let's just stop having that over here. So when you go to the missions and you do Lucky Fountain, you'll always get this limited missions thing. So it's like spend so much soulstones and you get all these extra bonuses, which is like great. But if you combine it with the comeback missions section over here, it also has a spend soulstones and you get like all these extra, look at this, 100, 180, 350, 500, 650 soulstones and all those green pots. All of these spend soulstones, the quote-unquote spending on Fountain counts towards this comeback returner bonus. So I think you can just get a lot of value. Like, you don't actually spend soulstones, you just do Lucky Fountain and you get all these extra soulstones. And if you do summon, like while you're doing the returner bonus, you can get even more. You can get, like, again, you use 30k quote unquote spend on Lucky Fountain, and if you just add like 21k more on summons, you can get up to 850. And then if you go to 85, then you get 1,700 soul stones more and a whole lot of green pots. So it's a super easy way to just line it up perfectly to just claim all these. Like, super easy. Just line it up and you're good. Look at that. And then the other part of the returner pass is the returner bonus, which is just, this is just logins. You just log in each day, and you can get soul stones like 100, 100, 200, and then if you look at day 7, it increases all the way up to 500, which I have one more day to go. And the other part about it is the returner pass, which is similar to the mission pass, where you just do your dailies, and then you get like mission points from doing your dailies, and then that counts towards more soul stones, like all these. And this doesn't even include the premium bonus, which you can if you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend getting just because it costs money and I'm all about the free-to-play. But you could get a whole bunch of more extra soul stones from that, from the premium, if you chose to, but I do not recommend. But yeah, like, that's kind of like where a bunch of the free soul stones that you can get from just doing the returner bonus. So, like I said earlier, like, if Evertale keeps following this 7-day theme, it would be Lucky Fountain on the 1st, you do 7 days of active, 7 days inactive. Lucky Fountain on the 15th, 7 days active, 7 days inactive, would result in 28 days and could be achieved every month with a little extra wiggle room on months that have 30 and 31 days. Then, because of those extra days, you could offset new character banners by 1 day if it didn't line up, and you would never miss a single new character or event, and it would be perfect, which is exactly why it doesn't work. It would have been too good to be true, and Evertale wouldn't give us something that nice. So, like, my first attempt at the 7 days of inactivity, it did not trigger anything. So I tried one more day, checked another account, 8 days, did not work still. Wait another day, checked on day 9 of activity, and it worked. I was like, okay, that's it. It finally triggered. I was able to get the returner login bonus. Like, that's all you need. It's good. I can log into my other accounts, but I logged into my next account and it didn't trigger. So I was really confused. I was like, is it not 9 days? Was it a fluke or something? So waited one more day, day 10 of inactivity on my remaining 2 accounts, and they were successful to work, and they were able to trigger the returner bonus. And so I was wondering, like, why did some accounts work at 9 days but other accounts only worked at 10? And my theory was the exact time that you log in matters. Like, yeah. So I waited another 16 days to check and recorded my times of like when I last logged into the account, and sure enough, the magic number was 9, and 9 days of inactivity and the exact time that you last log off matters. Like, you have to record it, or at least have an idea of when that time was, and make sure that you log in after that time. Okay, so for the schedule, I would recommend writing out a schedule because it can get confusing. So since 9 days of inactivity times 2 equals 18 days, and 7 times 2 is 14 days of the returner bonus, the number of days you would need to maximize everything would be 18 plus 14, which is 32 days, which means it's not possible within a month. So you have to divide it in 2 ways that I came up with. And method 1, simply split the days of activity in half for the first and second of the month. And since 18 days of activity doesn't change, subtract it from the number of days that month. So and then divide it by 2. And I'll put a schedule on screen for those who don't want to do the math. And for those who are looking at 28 days a month, and they're looking at 15 plus 5 is 20, not 19. If you just count 15-1, 16-2, 17-3, 18-4, 19-5. Just like I said before, writing it out can't help. And just, I have for days on months that have 28 days, 30 days, and 31 days, hopefully shown on the screen. And then method 2 is when you want to try to min-max. And at first I thought it wouldn't work because I needed an active day to fall within the 15th for Fountain. But to my surprise, it should still work actually, no matter if you front load or back load the 7 days in a row. If you look at the login bonus, it will, like I said earlier, it increases on day 7. So if you look at it and actually count it up, how you do the split, if you do a 5-5 split with method 1 or a 7-3 split with method 2, method 1, you will count 5 days will be 100, 100, 200, 200, 200. So that's 200 plus 6, and then that will give you 800 times 2 would be 1,600 for 1 month, versus the 7-3 split. If you count all 7 days, that's 500 plus another that much, and then add up that will be 1,500 for the 7 days in a row, plus the 3 days a row will give you another 400, so 1,900. So it's 1.6k versus 1.9k. So I would recommend method 2, because that will give you a bigger net, like just more soul stones, just based off of what I could find and see in my math and whatever. But yeah, I will put a schedule on the screen for those who don't want to do the math and figure stuff out for the 28 days a month, 30 days a month, and 31 days a month of like how you could achieve this. You could switch these numbers around and front load it instead of back load it, and it should still work out. But here's just some examples on the screen that hopefully will pop up right now. And so now we know the days, we have a schedule, and that's all we need to know, right? Not quite yet. So I've been testing this method out for a while, and like I said previously, it has potential, but it definitely isn't for everyone. And I want to go over some pros and cons with some warnings. So, some pros. Less time, a lot less time. You get more soul stones, green pots. It's much easier to do than like dailies, all those everything you do just all the time when you log in. It's less hassle to just keep playing all these different game modes and whatnot. And you can still do Lucky Fountain, you can still do events. It's still completely free to play. You just might need to use some more mana to catch up on events to like claim all those first clears. It's much easier in my opinion than doing raids that you have to like wait for specific times every day, and you don't have to like necessarily revolve your life around raids and when a raid might start, and just be like, hey, wait, I have to like make a mental alarm or timer in my head every this time and this time every day I have to be awake and dedicate my drop everything and like log into Evertale to do a raid, because a raid's gonna happen. And I think this could potentially like revolutionize how you play Evertale, especially if you're starting to feel burnout. Like I said in my burnout video, I kind of alluded to this earlier, like sometimes less is more. Like play less and you could get more soul stones by literally not logging in and playing less. So yeah, I think those are some of the big pros of the return logging. As in the cons, I would say there's quite a bit. So just kind of like a heed my warnings. For one, you kind of need to be somewhat established already. Like, because a lot of, not a lot of it, but the comeback part of this relies on, right here. This comeback part with all these extra soul stones, like, it's a good amount. It relies on you to use Fountain to 30k. So you need at least 30k to start off of soul stones. And like I said earlier, the mana pots to catch up on events. And if you're new to the game, I would recommend just play the game, learn about it, and like figure it out before you try to start like minimizing the amount of time you actually play. Just have fun with it and don't worry too much until like you get yourself established a little bit more. You get to know the characters, you get to know how the game works and how to play the game. And yeah. Another con would be you're gonna be missing resources a bunch. You're gonna be missing raids. Raids, if you do them consistently all the time, it can give you a lot of resources. Green pots for character awakenings. You'll miss some events for soul stones, like the first clears, especially if like they have the ones that are only 7 days long. I'd say you'll probably make most of them since they last a long time, and it'd have to be perfectly aligned with the 9 days of inactivity. So you'll make most of them, but there is a possibility that you will miss some events. You will miss, since Tower is like a daily thing, you miss a bunch of the exploration, a bunch of the daily mission bonuses, alliance rewards, soul stones, some arena, alliance wars, War of the Realms. If you're an active member in a bunch of these like competitive things, missing a whole bunch of days in a row probably not going to be good for you. Like if you're trying to be champion arena and keep your place in time or your position, and yeah, so if you're really active and you are like really big part of like alliances and stuff, it's not gonna be good for you. Another con is you're gonna have to keep track of a lot more things, times and dates, and it kind of also favors multiple accounts more, because yeah, it just favors having multiple accounts a lot more than just having one account. And you also might miss new character banners, or you might have to restructure the days that you have like active and inactive, like on and off. And you'll most likely need to change the schedule that I recommended, which is what I had to do. Like the schedule on the screen that I had earlier, it's good as a baseline, but you will most likely have to completely ruin a off streak and scrap it for a new character that pops up. Like new character pops up and you were almost at 9 days in a row of inactivity. You might have to cut it short, especially if you're like a content creator and you have to have like a certain time or deadline of I want to summon exactly when the character drops or exactly when this. But if you're okay with waiting and you don't have to whatchamacall, have a deadline of I need to summon immediately, you can wait, since the character banners do last for 7 days. But there is a possibility like the 7 days falls within the 9 days of inactivity. In that case, then yeah, it's gonna mess up your inactivity streak and your returner bonus. But yeah, that's just kind of like something to keep in mind. And yeah, and typically we don't have a big heads up on beforehand of who the next new character is and what they're gonna be like. A bunch of times you can get like a good glimpse of, like, if you check out the special events, like you'll see some new characters, but that's not always the case, and sometimes it's only like a day or two before the it's usually maybe like a day, like it's like a day before the actual banner pops up. So again, it's a little bit of a heads up, but not a huge like I knew a week in advance or something to prepare. So that can mess up your streak. And also, if you do have multiple accounts, you can ruin multiple account streaks to summon on another account, because it will auto restore to the last known account. I have tried this with like even like uninstalling the app and trying to reinstall it. It will mess up multiple accounts streaks. And hopefully I'll have a picture on screen right now to like show you a screenshot that I took of what it looks like when if you try to uninstall it and log in like with the specific account that you want to summon on. It won't let you, it'll just go back to the last one. And for the biggest con and warning that I want to give you is, by doing this method, you might just quit. Like, in all honesty, like once you stop logging in every day, it's very, very easy to just forget about it and just not log in it like ever again. And it's a genuine thing. It's, you do dailies, you do things out of habit, but once you stop, it's very easy to just stop completely and just completely forget about it. And sometimes, like, if you're going through this method, sometimes you might be only playing 10 out of the 28 days a month. And I also found out during the return login bonus right here on the screen, if you do miss a day, like if you log in on day 1, you forget day 2, but you log in on day 3, you will still have day 1, 2, and 3 to claim. So what this means to me is, theoretically, if you log in on day 1, just completely forget about day 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, log in on day 7, theoretically, you could claim all day 1 to 7 in just 2 days. Which means, in theory, I haven't tested this, but if the theme goes on and continues, you could just log in 4 days out of an entire month, technically, which I haven't tested and I haven't tried, and I don't really recommend, because at that point you're not even really playing the game, and you're most likely just gonna quit, or you're just not playing the game at that point. But theoretically, you could log in day 1, day 7, that's the first half of Fountain. Second Fountain, day 1 and like day 5 or 6, or it depends on how many days are in a month, in that month that you're playing. And that's 4 days that you just log in, play out of the whole month, and that's it. That's all you need. 4 days to claim almost everything that you need. But yeah, like that's very, very game changing in my opinion, and it could completely just change everything. But yeah, so that's going to be everything that I can think of at the moment that you need to know about return logging and how you can utilize the return returner bonus to increase your bi-monthly soulstones and give you a bunch more green pots as well with like minimal effort, like super very easy. And with this method, maybe one day you too can get that 1,000, or not 1,000, that 1 million free-to-play soulstone milestone. Like it's pretty insane. I'm super happy about it. Very excited. And like this is my first account that I hit it on, which is the Crisis account, since just there haven't been Crisis units to summon on. But I think with this method, I will be able to get 1 million on my other accounts as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe if you can. Stop by my next stream and say hi, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.